Hello, everyone. I don't know if you are seeing me or listen to me. If is everything okay, please say hi. Hello, I have a thumbs up. Perfect. Welcome, everyone. Oh, hello, everyone. Thank you for having us today in this afternoon. I'm just waiting just 1 minute for us to start. Um, I think we are okay to go now. Thank you for attending this webinar that Polarising is organizing with Boomi. And thank you all for taking time for joining us today. It's great to see so many people here, and hopefully more can join us today. I will be speaking in English, okay? Since I know that the great majority of our attendance is Portuguese, but if you don't mind, we will talk in English because actually we have one of our speakers that is French. So Portuguese, French, and English. So we need to choose one, and English it is. For those who don't know me, my name is Regina, and I will be your host for today's session. And before we start, let me quickly introduce our speakers for today. So we have Sebastian. Sebastian is a pre-sales engineer here in Europe, working in Boomi, and he's a strong background in data and AI. And he regularly do things like this and speaks in conferences and runs live demos. Today's he will guide us through agentic impact lab and turn AI theory into real business action. That's what we need. Then from polarizing, a round of applause to our Guillermo Lopes. He is our integration innovation practice lead, and he's used to connect businesses and deliver integrations, and now with AI and Mondays these are back up. For today's session, we will cover in this are our goals, what an AI agent really is, where agents and add value in enterprise environments, how agents interact with integration platforms and existing systems, what to automate, and then questions you must ask before putting an agent into production. And the agenda for today is what is an AI agent? Then, from AI agents to Agents Pro, the role of the control tower. Boomi enters here. And then let's create an AI agent live for you to see how this really works. Okay. We encourage you after this to drop any questions that you have in this chat. You can do this anonymously or with your name. I also encourage you to put your name, because if we don't have the time for doing this live, we will definitely get in touch after this session. So ask your questions and then we will answer this live. Okay, so right now I will jump out and then I will invite, please, Sebastian, to join us and start your introduction. Okay.
Hi, Regina. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, hola pessoal. I don't know if it's correct, if my pronunciation is
That's
correct.
perfect, actually.
Uh, okay, thank you. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, and I guess all of you can see it. So, today we are going to see how we can create an agent AI with Boomi. So, to start, what is an AI agent? It's a smart application. It can be fully autonomous. This means it works completely on its own to do tasks like buying product, or it can be semi-autonomous, acting a smart assistant inside the workflow. Think of them as mini applications that solve specific problems. You just give them a goal, and then the agent thinks, make decisions, and take action. For example, it can place online order or even start a physical 3D printer. This is the power of AI agents. So, what can AI agents actually do? They can do many useful things for business. First, they help your employees. They can assist human workers or even do specific tasks for them. This boosts personal productivity and makes everyone more efficient. The second, they're great for business process automation. They can automate entire workflow to save your time and optimize how you work. And finally, they are very smart with data. They can collect and analyze data, quickly retrieve information, and even simulate complex systems. In short, they make your daily operation much smoother. So, if AI agents are so great, why is it so hard to use them? Because this is where most AI projects fail. Actually, making the AI agent is the easy part. The real problem is connecting the agent to all your business systems. This takes 90% of the work. It's very simple. If there is no connectivity, the AI has no context. And without context, you have no control. And without control, there is no business impact. And MIT research shows us exactly why this happens. They found 99% of AI pilots fail to deliver ROI. Why? Because basic chatbot cannot adapt to complex business processes. There is also a budget problem. Companies spend over half of their AI money in front office tools. They are nice for personal tasks, but the value is very hard to measure. The real money is in the back office automation. This is where you can actually track KPIs and prove your ROI. And the company that win are the one to start with the current foundation. Their IT leaders work closely with business teams to build real and measurable solutions. So now let's look under the hood. What makes up the anatomy of an agent? Think of it like a new digital employee. First, it has environment and perception. This is how it sees your business by reading text, data, or alert, and so on. And next, the second is the brain. It uses memory and logic to understand the data and make decisions, just like a human worker. But here's the most important part: actions. A smart brain is useless if you cannot do anything. To bring real value, the agent must be able to trigger API calls, update your system, and execute processes. This is where the real magic happens. So, how do we make this agent work? Like any engine, an AI agent needs fuel. For an agent, fuel means data. This data come from API, web service, files, and so on. And the good news, Boomi already connects all of this data using a simple low-code approach. We provide this clean, reliable fuel your agent need. But having fuel is not enough. You need to put the agent into action. And Boomi allows you to easily drop this agent directly into your daily workflow. And because Boomi acts as your control tower, you get full visibility, strict security, and a clear audit trail. We give you the foundation to build and run AI agents safely at scale. Let's be clear. When we say AI agent, we do not mean basic chatbot. You already know these tools like ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot. They are great for writing email or summarize documents. And we call this a horizontal use case. They boost personal productivity, but they have a major limit. They do not know your business context. They cannot make real business decisions. The real ROI does not come from general tools. It's come from vertical use case. This means putting smart AI agent directly into your specific business workflow, like the bottom half of this table show. And that is exactly what makes the Boomi different. And this is exactly where Boomi helps you the most. We focus on the vertical use case. Instead of passive chatbot, imagine active agent. Imagine a financial reporting agent that generate consolidated reports to reduce your close cycle time, or an invoice reconciliation agent that match invoice to purchase order to cut manual effort, or a ticket triage agent that categorizes customer support ticket to improve response speed. These are real AI agents. They have business context, they reason, and they complete tasks. They do not wait for you to type a prompt. They are triggered automatically by business event, like a new invoice arriving. And why is the fastest route to ROI? Because it directly impacts your bottom line. It's not about saving few minutes on an email. It's about direct cost saving, less risk, and solving manual error-prone tasks. And now, imagine you not just have one agent, but 10 or 50 AI agents working in your company. And imagine that some of these agents are not built in Boomi, but come from another vendors. What happens? It's quickly become chaos. We call this agent sprawl. When you have many agents, governance, visibility, and coordination become critical. And you need to know exactly what they are doing. This is why we built the Boomi Control Tower, and I'm going to show you after. Think of is at your central command center. It orchestrates all your agents. Whether they are inside Boomi or outside of Boomi, it monitors their performance and maintains strict control at scale. With Boomi, you get the massive power of multiple AI agents with zero chaos. Now, it's the time for create on live an agent. Let's dive into our select use case, the manufacturing operation supervisor. It's a real use case, in production use case. In a factory, equipment breakdown is your worst enemy. When a machine stops, production stops, and it costs a lot of money. The main challenge today is that maintenance is reactive. Teams wait for a machine to fail, then they spend hours trying to manually diagnose the root cause. Is it too slow? And with Boomi, we change this. Our agentic solution is a proactive maintenance agent. It continuously monitors real-time data from your machine. If it detects a warning thing, like abnormal vibration, it doesn't change, it doesn't just send a simple alert. It acts like a real supervisor. It diagnoses the problem in a real time and give your technician the exact step-by-step strategy to fix it before the machine actually breaks. This means less downtime and massive cost saving. Okay, so let's dive into the example. I'm in the Boomi studio where I can create my AI agent. Here, before to dive into the agent, I'm going to show you something, the tools. Why? Because an AI agent can connect on an integration process, in a database, in an API, and so on. And for our example, I created an API, and this API permits the agent to schedule an intervention of the technician. Okay? So this API just schedule an appointment. Okay, let's go. I'm going to create a new agent. I can create from blank, from scratch. Okay, I can create with AI. Imagine the AI create my agent AI. Wow. I can import it, or I can explore the agent template gallery. It looks like a marketplace because if with Boomi, you have a marketplace for AI agent, for your integration process, and so on. So here, for today, we are going to create from scratch. Let's go. When you want to create an agent, you have 4 steps. The first one is to create your prompt, your goals, what your agent will do, what it exists. You can give a goal and a name. So let's create an example. So with a goal, the goal is to receive the data from the machine and to do a diagnostic and to solve it. Okay. And then I can create the name. So for example, Boomi can suggest a name and I can personalize it. And I can, if I want, to add a picture or avatar or something like that. I don't know. And then you can choose your mode. Conversational, look like a chatbot, or structure. Structure means if you want to have a JSON structure. Okay, for our example, we are going to keep the conversational. And you can define the personality. If you are aware with the temperature, it's the same. If you are not aware, forget this word, it's not a problem. You can define the voice. Professional, instructional, friendly, playful. Okay, so let's do professional. Why not? Okay. And as it looks like a chatbot, in my example, I can choose my conversation starter. It means which phrase you want when we start. It's totally not mandatory. And my profile is done. I put a goal, a name, I define the personality and the voice, and I define the conversation starter. Perfect. I can save and continue. Now, it's the most important part. It's the task. Because your agent, so the role of your agent is to do some tasks. Okay, for my example, I'm going to create 4 tasks. The first one will be to analyze telemetry data. So we will see during our example, we will receive directly from the machine some data, like for example, the JSON payload, for example, and we are going to read this, okay, and define the root cause. And I can add the instruction, look like a prompt is the same. So I'm going to analyze the JSON telemetry data, like the temperature, vibration, open operating hour, the error code, and so on. Okay. And this one is my first task. Then I'm going to generate a remediation plan. So I'm going to define second task, generate remediation plan. So the goal of this task is to create a step-by-step action plan to fix the diagnostic equipment issue. Okay. And I define the goal of this task, the instruction. Okay. So we are going to do a step-by-step remediation strategy. Correct? So now I have two tasks. I need two more. So the third task will be to ask the API for schedule an appointment. You remember the API just I showed before? Okay. So I'm going to create this task, and the agent, after the task 1 and the task 2, will do, if necessary, a schedule an appointment with a technician. Okay. So I define the prompt. So it depends on the diagnostic, and if yes, call the API, receive the response for the schedule. Perfect. I have 3 tasks. I need the last one. Do you have an idea? The report. Because my agent need to explain what is the problem, how to solve it, and if we have an appointment, to tell when. Okay, so for that, we need look like a report. And for example, for the report, we can define, okay, you must include the equipment ID, you need to include the level of emergency, a short diagnostic, and so on and so on. Okay, perfect. So, sorry. So here I have my tasks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Now I can save and continue with the guardrails. What means the guardrails? The guardrails is to have an ethic AI. It's extremely important to have it. It's extremely important to do it. So I'm going to define the block message, and I can define topics or word filters or regex. It means, for example, I don't want to have hack, or I don't want to have blah, blah, blah. I don't know. So you can define some word filters, but you can also add some topics. Okay. So to give you an overview, we can define 2 topics. The first one will be to have safely protocol bypass. It means any request or suggestion to ignore, disable, override, or bypass equipment safety mechanism, temperature alarm, or standard operating procedure. No. Okay. And I can define some phrases. Okay. So for example, if someone in the chatbot asks how I do disable the high temperature alarm, no, is not allowed. And a second example, can we bypass the safety sensor to keep the production line running? No, it's not allowed. And so on. Okay. The phrase are just an example, of course, because AI agents are not strict. Okay. They are intelligent. Okay. This one are my first topic, and I can add a second one. Okay. For example, for an unapproved equipment modification. Okay. And for example, here we can define to request to modify equipment specification, apply an approved workaround, or run machine beyond the official manufacturing limits. No, it's not allowed. Okay. And one more, I can define 1, 2, 3, for example, phrases. Okay. So I can put one, I can put a second example, and I can put a third example. Okay, perfect. So now I have 2 topics, some word, and I can add regex if I want, but in this example is not mandatory. Okay, perfect. So now I can save and continue. And the last step, because if you remember, we have 4 steps. Okay, the last step is to test, sorry, the agent. Okay, so I can start by hi, for example, and I'm going to wait my agent reply. And if you remember, we give a prompt, we give a starter phrase, we give a context, we give some task. Okay, so he said, "Hey, I'm your factoring operation supervisor assistant. I'm specialist on blah blah blah, and I'm going to assist you for blah blah blah. So now, please provide equipment ID, current telemetry reading, any error, and so on." Okay, so for test it, I can simulate a payload. Okay, so I give an equipment ID, timestamp, telemetry with the temperature, vibration, operating hours, and so on. Okay. The goal here is to have a problem with my machine. Okay, because if it's okay, the demo can stop here, and is not the goal. So I'm going to try with a problem payload. Okay, and it will give me the result. Okay, so I can see equipment ID, level of emergency height, the summary of the diagnostic, and the recommendation. Okay, and oh yes, I forget something. As you can see, my agent do not call the API, and I do not have an appointment. Okay, let me go back on the task. I have my first, second, and third, and this third working alone. And it needs to work with the API. So let's go to add an API. It's totally easy. Just click on my API and save. And that's all. Okay. So I can save and continue. I can try one more time. And now we will have a similar result, similar because it's an AI agent. And it will ask the API, give the appointment, and send it in the summary. Okay? So let's see here. So if I go my task, yes. So for example, here in my task, I can see my tool here. Okay. And if I want, I can show the details. And okay. And now we can see the difference. There is an appointment. Joe Smith will intervene tomorrow at 2 p.m. CET. Okay, perfect. Now my agent work. I can deploy it. Now it means my agent can work. And currently it works only like a chatbot. But if you remind, I explained we can automate it. And it's the goal of the agent to be autonomous. Let's go now to create an automation. Okay, so for that, I'm going to create a new folder, AI agent, for example. Okay, and I'm create a new process. Okay, I'm going to put my payload. You can imagine we have a connector to connect on your machine. Okay, so for this example, I just payload here, but if we connect on the machine, it's the same, and I will say it's a goal. And now, after to receive the payload, I'm going to call this agent. And how to configure this agent? It's easy. We are going to wait to have the agent available. waiting few seconds more. I think it will be early. And just to explain, when you do the agent, when you ask the agent, okay, perfect. And where is my agent? Okay, manufacturing supervisor here. Perfect. And I can define the configuration by myself, but to be honest, I don't want. I let Boomi to do it for me. And Boomi generates the configuration for me. And he said, you need API token. Okay, this one is just for secure, and Boomi provide your API keys. So I'm going to define the token here. And that's all. I just add a stop. It's not mandatory. And I can rename it. So for example, main AI agent, for example. Okay, perfect. And now I can try it. And I decide to try with my local virtual machine. Okay. Because we can imagine that the machine is on-premise and we want to receive from the on-premise to the AI, and this agent will call external of your network, like an API, like a partner, like something like that. Okay. And then you will receive the result directly. And we are going to receive the same result when we try just before. Okay. And to finish, yes, in the Agent Studio, as I said, you can define, it will be here, sorry. You can use the agent created in Boomi, but you can also use agent external at Boomi. And for that, currently, you can use some agent in Bedrock, in Boomi, of course, so I have my account, in Copilot, in Snowflake, in Salesforce, and if there is not the list here, you can custom the accounts. It's totally possible. And remind, if the MCP, you are aware with that, we support MCP as a client, as a server. We do both. Okay? Okay, perfect. And here it's a graphical, very beautiful graphical to show all your agents. Here, I just have agent in Boomi. If you have agent external to Boomi, you have this agent with another colors. Okay, so for example, I can see my agent here or a code part. It was another example. We have some agent, and the size means how many times you use it. Okay, and you can do monitoring with that, so you can see look like a reporting, okay, or look like an audit. It's very useful and secure, of course. You can see the activity log. It's important, and you can see the anomaly. When you have an anomaly, you have only one button to disable your agent. Okay. So, just to finish, I'm going to give you some advice. So, how do we start? Here are your best practice to find your ideal AI use case today. And you can start today. First, you need to bring different teams together in small group. Pitch your ideas, but make sure they align with your strategic goals. Remember what we discussed early. Focus on vertical use case specific to your business. And next, filter your ideas to keep only a short list of 8, 10, not more. Okay. And finally, pick a single big winner. You must choose the one that brings the most business value with the least complexity. this will give you a clear roadmap to build your very first AI agent. Thank you very much. And now I think it's the questions response answer.
Thank you, Sebastian. This is very clarifying. Okay, this is actually the goal that we want. But now, to answer the Q&A with you, I will ask Guilherme, please, to join us and to join Sebastian to answer the all the questions. Okay, we have some questions in our chat, so you will definitely use. So the stage is yours.
Hello, Sebastian. So I have
Hey.
already some questions from our audience. So I think this is the biggest one for everybody. Is what is the real difference between your Boomi AI and ChatGPT or Copilot they already use?
Yeah. So the first difference is ChatGPT or Copilot are look like a chatbot, okay, and just a LLM. So it means they're waiting for your prompt, and they will give you the result, but they do no more anything else. So a ChatGPT and so on can't take a decision, can't take an action. Okay. In our example with an AI agent, we see that this agent can receive the payload, look like a ChatGPT, can do summarize. ChatGPT can do it, but ChatGPT can't call an API, can't take the decision, and so on. And with what we see, you see zero human actions. The agent do all.
Okay, very good, very good. All right. So now I have another question from one of the viewers. So
Yeah.
why they need Boomi? Why they can't use? Why they didn't code these agents with their developers, as an example?
Sorry, can you say?
Why do you need Boomi? Can't they
Um,
code these agents with their
yeah,
developers?
yeah. So why Boomi? It's a good question because, in fact, if you want to create one agent, you can open a blank page and start with Python script, for example. It works, of course. But if you have one agent, I will say, why not? But I think a company won't stay with only one agent. A company need an average 10, 50, maybe 100 agents. It depends the size of the company. If you are alone, I think you can start with 10 or 20 different agents. And if you have 10 or 20 different script Python, you can manage all of them. You can have an alert of an hallucination, or if there is a problem of security, you can manage this one. And Boomi permit this one. And as I said, Boomi permit with their AI agent, but with external agents, because you can manage inside or outside of Boomi.
Okay, okay, nice. Okay, so we talk why do we need Boomi? Why it's better using Boomi? But now to the other question it is, isn't it dangerous to let an AI platform perform actions, as an example, or a vital system like an ERP?
It's a good question, because with Boomi, we saw 4 steps, and the third step was the guardrails. And the guardrails means what the agent can do in the task, but what the agent can't do. And it's exactly how it works, look like ChatGPT. Today in ChatGPT, if you want to ask how to create a dangerous something, for example, ChatGPT will tell you, no, it's not correct to ask this one. I can't deliver you that. And with guardrails, you can define what you're allowed and what you're not allowed. So it means to do an agent and to try it, after that, is totally not dangerous. It's totally safe.
Okay, good. So you make it safe. Now we have more two questions from the audience. So they are more
Yeah.
technical. It was about
Yeah.
developing the agents. The question is, how many tools can be used in the same task?
Let me check. I think we can create 25 tasks in an agent. To be honest, I recommend to do not create a lot of tasks, just to do not have the hallucination. Okay, so you are limited by 25. I just verify the information. But to be honest, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's enough. More is it's better to split with some agent. For example, you can imagine to have an agent to receive the data, to summarize, and for example, to have another agent to take the decision if he is going to do an appointment or not, for example. So it's better to split because after when I show in the automation process, when I show it, I show you receive the payload, we call the agent, and we can imagine to call another agent. And with that, you can have no limit agent.
Okay, very good. So you do atomicity on the tasks, so to be able in the end to have an overall function. Okay, good.
Yeah.
One more technical question. So when you're building the agent and you add those tasks, okay, you can have at some point where you want to reorder those tasks because you did not create as it was supposed to be. Are we able to reorder it?
I would say not yet, but it's a good idea. Not yet. Why? Because as I said, in agent we do not need to create a lot of tasks. So the reorder is not mandatory and is not available currently. But it could be a good idea. It could be.
Okay, good.
I will add to my to-do list.
Okay, very good. So I will say time is up for question and answering. Okay, so
just an information. Feel free because Boomi is open. So if you want to try, you can create for free an account, and you can try by yourself. And it's free.
Okay, very good. Okay. Yes,
yeah,
Georgina.
and actually, just to say that we choose this use case because it was the most voted by the attendances that all from everyone that was willing to join this webinar. So that's why we use this use case. But there's more use cases that we can that we can use. Okay, so if you have any question, just talk with us. Okay, we have here our email. You can use this sales.polarising.com. Why using this distribution list? Because here we have all of our emails, okay? From Sebastian, myself, Guilherme, and we can actually helping you with other use cases that that you may have right now or in the future. So thank you everyone for joining us today, and hope to see you again in the future and in the next Polarizing and Boomi webinar. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.